Hello there, Guildies. This is the Adventurers Guild. I'm Steve,
Still, Jesse.
and we have something very special for you guys today.
That's right. You asked for it, so we're going to do it.
As many of you are aware, our game night series very often features this machine behind us.
That's right. I'm a machine.
Except,
Oh.
in said videos, you never see it. As a matter of fact, the only video we've ever done pretty much that features this in it is the room tour video, which you can see in the iCard up above.
Oh, there it is.
So we decided, since we play on this machine so frequently to bring you our gaming, we should probably give you guys the lowdown and dirty about this machine, show you the inner workings, and everything about it. So, this is an ArcadesRFun, like Toys R Us, but ArcadesRFun
Clever.
Extreme Machine, or Lean Machine. I think they changed the name at some point. I believe it's the Extreme Machine is the official name now. So, it is literally the gamer's dream cabinet.
I know.
Everything about this is really amazing. So let's start with the obvious. It has a 55-inch high-definition screen and a 4-player control panel.
Oh,
Sorry
jeez.
about
That's my hit, buddy.
So when you order these, you custom configure them. So you can have whatever artwork you want. You can have the marquee show whatever you want. If you like football, you can get a football artwork. If you like Star Wars, you can get Star Wars artwork. It's really, up to you what you want when you custom order it from them.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
So this is the biggest model that they make. They have a 2-player model, I think, and this is the 4-player model, as you can obviously see by this control panel. So player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. So I went with the whole light side, dark side, Star Wars kind of layout. I also got an optional trackball, so you can play things like Golden Tee and a spinner that you can play things like Arkanoid, things like that on. And you can actually pop this off and put a wheel on in place of it and play racing games.
Word.
Pretty cool. As well as I also opted for the light gun option. So there's 2 holsters on top of the cabinet.
No way.
So there's 2
Can't
guns.
find it.
It's up there.
There it is.
So there's 2 guns to play light gun games.
We played Time Crisis with
Time
this.
Crisis, Police Trainer, House of the Dead. So this is interesting because when you think of light gun games, you think of CRT tube TVs because for the longest time that's how they worked. The thought process is if you don't have a tube TV, you can't use a light gun. That's not true anymore. So there's technology that exists now through IR blasters, which is actually attached right here on the top of the panel, that can read the positional data of where the gun is located. So you can play those old school shooting games no problem with these guns. So we play a lot of shooting games. Oh, Area 51 we play a lot of.
Oh, yeah, we played that. That was a good time.
So this machine comes...
Oh, I can't get the gun back in.
This machine comes preloaded with about 10,000 games. Pretty much anything you can think of. Any arcade game from the dawn of time, when dinosaurs roamed the planet Earth. Now, when arcades first came into prevalence in the 70s. So anything up through like the early 2000s. And then it has a lot of games from 2000 and beyond, but it's not like a complete catalog. It's basically what the hardware can emulate / handle and what is able to be emulated nowadays. It also has the full library of Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2.
3,
Exactly.
32X.
So it literally has enough games on it that you could pretty much... It's almost safe to say you could almost never play everything on here.
I guarantee that, because there's been a couple times where Steve's left me down here and I've been playing all this thing while we're doing it, and Steve will go over my shoulder and be like, what game was that? I'm like, oh, it was this for Sega. I looked it up, or this or that. So, I mean, there's just... I didn't even probably scratched a quarter of how many games are on this thing.
Exactly. I mean, I've owned this for 3 years, maybe? Roughly 3 years, and I've probably only played a couple hundred games on it because there's just so much. It's honestly, there's so much stuff on here, it's overwhelming. And, I've done nothing to this. The way you see it is the way that I received it. So this is made by a guy, you already know it's ArcadesRFun. And the guy who builds them, the owner and his son, they're both extremely nice guys. I happen to be lucky enough to live near their manufacturing facility, so they brought it to us. They delivered it themselves. I'm sure if you live somewhere else in the country, they ship it to you or whatever. But I was lucky enough that they delivered it. They brought it down the stairs to my basement, attached to the control panel, did everything. As a matter of fact, they're so on point that when they hooked it up and tested everything for me, they realized that one of the buttons on one of the joysticks didn't work. So they actually went out to their car and got like some soldering equipment and came in and they fixed everything up and made sure everything worked perfectly before they left. So I mean, the attention to detail is very, very impressive with this company. You know, they make sure you're happy with your product before they leave or whatever.
Just bringing it down, because this is a big system.
So this, that leads into another good point. The build quality of this is incredibly good. This is not like balsa wood. I mean, this is legit thick, heavy MDF. I'm sure at this point in the video I'm superimposing some still shots, over the camera here to show you like the actual quality of the material. But I mean, this thing is absolutely, it was ridiculously heavy. I obviously have never weighed it, but it's got to weigh at least 200 pounds, easily.
I'm 6'2", and the thing's taller than me.
Actually, it probably weighs more than 200 pounds now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I should probably look up the specs on it at some point, but I mean, it is ridiculously heavy. So, if you look inside, under the back side of the control panel, you can really see the love and care that goes into this. Everything is wired exactly the way it should be. They take the time and the care to put it together in a way where it's durable. So there's different ways to attach buttons for arcade machines. Whether you just but like, these are all hand soldered. Everything is connected and soldered together in a way where you can really beat on it and it's not going to break, just like an arcade machine should work. Those arcade one-up cabinets bring up a good point. They're of course they're inexpensive. They're $300 or whatever, but those are manufactured to play in your house for one or two people to have a good time on here and there. But if you beat on those things, they're going to break. This is made to really, you could almost put this in a commercial environment. You can beat on these things, and they're commercial grade buttons, commercial grade sticks. These are hap buttons, hap sticks. Everything is made, with commercial grade material.
Word.
So, when I wanted to buy a machine like this, there was a couple different options that I could have went with, and I opted for the ArcadesRFun model because the price was in line with what I wanted to spend. I could get the features that I wanted, and I'm crazy happy with it. When you turn it on, it boots up to the desktop, to a Windows desktop. And then you use a piece of front-end software that basically loads all the different sections. So like this is the MAME arcade section. There's a section for Commodore, a section for, Mega Drive, PlayStation 2. Whatever section you want to go to, you just scroll the wheel to it, hit the button, brings up a new list of arcade games. You pick what you want to play, hit the button, off you go.
Now, what kind of screen is this?
So this is a 55, this is literally a television. It's a 55-inch LED TV.
Ooh.
And and there's a computer in there. It runs off of a computer. So, obviously these games are emulated. So you don't have arcade components inside.
Right.
The hardware that you play on, these are, like I just said, these are arcade components. Hap professional grade components, but it's emulation hardware, or a computer that runs emulation software to play them. But I mean, honestly, it was one of the, I have a lot of arcade machines down here. I have 11 machines down here. All of them, with the exception of this and one other, are the original, they're legit, full-blown arcade machines. My Hook pinball machine, my San Francisco Rush cabinet, my double diamond slots. These are, the original product, what you would see in the arcade. Or a replica, like the Wreck-It Ralph machine, which was never a real arcade game. They're all real. This is real from the fact that it's a real arcade machine, a giant, massive arcade machine. But to get the bang for the buck, you have to go MAME, emulation. And really, this is what's played the most down here by far.
Yeah,
Because,
we've never really had a problem. We use this for almost every single game night.
so, I mean, if you have the money to spend and you want something that's super nice and, you know, this is the way to go.
Sell a kidney. You know what I mean? That's what all the cool kids are doing.
It is very expensive, but I mean, they have less expensive options. But again, I've always been a big time gamer my whole life. You know, I'm lucky enough where I can afford stuff like this financially. So, I mean, it's something that I've always wanted, and now I do. Or now I have it, I should say. So, again, shout out to Arcades Are Fun. I would like to point out that this video is not sponsored. They did not give this to me to review. Could you imagine if they gave this to me?
That would
They
be
said,
amazing.
make a YouTube video that a few hundred people will see, and we're to give you this. No,
I'll do it.
This is not a sponsored video. I bought this with my own money, you know, years ago. You know, I never had any intention of making a YouTube video about it. So again, I just legitimately love it. I couldn't be happier with it. Consider that my product approved.
It's a true story. Even before me and Steve started doing YouTube videos, there was oftentimes get-togethers or parties. We'd come down here and run through Area 51. Why Steve would say the cheesy dialogue because he remembers all the lines. Somehow.
X-Men, Ninja Turtles, all those. So, again, check out their website, ArcadesRFun.com. I think, if I'm wrong, it'll be superimposed down here at the bottom. They have
there it goes again.
Look them up on Facebook, Arcades Are Fun. And that just about does it for this product review. If you guys like what you saw, go ahead and check out. What was I going to say?
The other tour video.
Correct. That is it. The other tour video. It's in the iCard above. If you like what you see,
There that is.
check out all of our arcade machines. And if you want to see more arcade reviews from the machines that I have, you know, one-on-one reviews, let me know. We'll be sure to do that. And final note, big thank you to our Guild Hero patrons
Ooh,
who are going to appear right here.
how do you do that?
It's the magic of post-production.
Wow.
For the Adventures Guild, I'm Steve,
Still Jesse.
and we will catch you next time.